you undefeated, you go with what got you there. We just
Yeah.
said that a while ago.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the I Coaches Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, my tag team partner in honor of WrestleMania week and our focus in segment one on the women's tournament, the Alba Fry to my Isla Dawn in NXT. Stand and deliver, the new NXT tag team champion, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, did you see any WrestleMania this weekend?
No, sir. Oh, one match. I saw a part of a match, and then when uh, Top Dollar was thrown over the top rope, I turned it off.
Unceremoniously tossed. So anyway,
But he did get tossed by the winner, Bobby.
yes, nothing wrong with that, and a clean bump. But Michael Cole's getting on my nerves. I hope that's going somewhere. But anyway, I digress. So on today's today's Throwdown Thursday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, we're going to talk about thoughts on a TV deal for the women's tournament. And when we say TV deal, we mean a separate TV deal. Segment two, we're going to talk about, does Congress need to be involved with NIL? And then finally, we will close in segment three with some new coaching hires that are quite personal to us in the local area we live in. But Mike, thoughts on the women's tournament? First of all, Iowa upset South Carolina to make it to the national championship game. And fans, we are taping this before the championship game itself. So we're just giving some thoughts, and our main focus is going to be on that TV deal. But man, Iowa is playing for a national championship, and the reason's Caitlin Clark. Okay. She was an amazing player, hit shots, made plays, big time players step up in big time situations, and she was big time. And at the start of the tournament, I thought she might have folded under the pressure. She has not, and I salute the junior guard for all of her work, and she gets to come back next season and try to do this all over again. Mike, any thoughts on Caitlin Clark in Iowa?
They defensively, as well as they shoot the ball, but they've had great game plans to defensively take their opponent out of their game. I thought they played well. Kudos to their coaching staff for their game preparation. Like, they literally backed all the way off in the paint on the one young lady.
Yeah, that's
So
disrespectful.
oh
Now,
my
Mike,
God,
I've been in situations like that where I had a link. And fans, when I say I had a link, that means a weak link. Okay, so we're taking you into a coaches meeting, and they're going way under screens, so there will be no dribble
He
penetration.
said way under.
And what do you have them shoot, or what do you do because you
Have to.
can't get in the lane?
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell them point blank. Hey, look, I'd get at my guys. I would really, really get at those second guys. And I've been in that situation. We played, I now work for the man who is the ultimate junk defense guy. Like, and when we faced each other, he used to go boxing one, triangle two on us. We were always prepared. I always knew it was coming. And I yell at the other guys, and I said, "Look, y'all always complain about not getting shots. So here's your shots. You're not taking them. You're not making them. You want to be the guy. Now let's go. Stop complaining. And if you don't take the shots and make the shots, shut up and don't ask no more questions why the plays ain't designed for you. That's simple. But what gets me is, why don't people screen? I screen the zone, and it's the thing, like that triangle and two. That's how we got it. That's how we beat it. I screen. We double screen. We run a staggered double off the top of the zone if it's triangle. And it's by the two guys who's being played man to man. So now I'm occupying three of your defenders. The two man to man and the guy on the top of the zone. I'm occupying those. So now my point guard has a chance to come off the screen and get in the paint. We always say, if you get 2 feet in the paint, take the shot. That's the rule. 2 feet in the paint, you got to take the shot. So if I can get my point guard in the paint, I don't care what you running, I got a chance of scoring. Whether it's I got rebound positioning, I got mid-range shot, I have open shot for shooters in the corner if I can get into the paint. So, but no one seems to screen the zone. Like, and I don't know, I just
Uh,
don't understand it.
Angel Reese can play.
Yes, big time,
Angel Reese can play.
big time.
And I don't know the beef at Maryland. It has been vaguely like tossed around. I have no insight, but she can play, and I have them beating Iowa.
Kim Mulkey has to be able to. I mean, hopefully she watched the film and understand what's going to happen. Like, there's going to be a junk defense of some sort at some time. That's how they've gotten where they are right now. And you only need a good 2 or 3 minutes to throw somebody off, and you can win a basketball game. No matter what. So Kim Mulkey and staff should have their team ready. I don't know how you play a junk defense against this group, because they got a little bit of everything. They got the two girls inside. They got Angel, who can really, really play. And then they got two guards that's pretty good. Like 45 is really good. And then when she on it, it's just tough to beat. So it's going to be a good game. I do have LSU winning, but I only but it's going to be closer than some people think, because Iowa can shoot. And then when they put 5 on the floor that can shoot, you're in trouble. Or even 4 with the big girl inside. They can cause so many problems for you defensively.
All right. South Carolina Gamecocks played a bad game. They played a horrible game. And they still almost won. But you can't win ball games shooting 4 for 20 from 3 and shooting 39% from the field. Okay, you're not going to win a lot of ball games with that. So with that, I thought Dawn didn't adjust very well. And it's okay to say, hey, we're just talking basketball right now. I didn't like her lack of adjustments, and it happens. Any thoughts on your end? Again, I've not coached a perfect game. I thought there was some adjustments she could have made, but that was
you undefeated. You go with what got you there. We just said that a while ago. And Maryland exposed them, though. I'm gonna be honest. Maryland exposed them to being beatable. In that first half, Maryland really, really, really exposed South Carolina. So I think that Iowa took what Maryland was doing, part of what Maryland was doing. But the thing that Iowa have that Maryland don't is shooters. Iowa has shooters. They backed off them, allowed them to shoot, and I don't care who you playing. I mean, we go all the way back to Syracuse being the first team to win a national championship playing a zone, because team they was playing shot like 60% from 3 in the first half and 20 in the second. And he never backed out of that zone. It allowed him to get long shots, make long rebounds, get out in transition. You make layups. 4 for 20. At some point, you got to stop shooting them. I'm just saying. Man. I mean, that's just, at some point, somebody got to get in the paint. Somebody got to do something. And we got the size advantage. I'm running 00 stack. I don't care. We running cross screens, hollow, spread it. Let's do something. But I don't want nobody shooting to the ball, get in the paint at least once.
All right. So congratulations to a great career from Aaliyah Boston. She will be foregoing her 5th year of eligibility. And she's declaring for the NBA draft, the WNBA draft, which will be held April 10th, Mike. The WNBA draft will be held April 10th. And the WNBA season begins May 19th. So good luck to her. And salute to Kenny Brooks and the Virginia Tech Lady Hokies. Great season, great time. And
great year for them. Great year. They had a great year.
All right. So let's get to the new TV deal, Mike. New NCAA president Charlie Baker watched Caitlin Clark make history with a 41-point performance. TV ratings are up, and the NCAA is entering its final year with the television partners for the women's tournament, 23-24. is ending their $34 million deal with ESPN to broadcast all Division I championships except football and men's basketball. So this is basically an opportunity for the women's team to have their own contract. Okay?
Mhm.
Prominent women's coaches have publicly supported a financial increase. That includes Dawn Staley, who said that the high demand warrants a separate, more lucrative contract. An independent study showed that the women's tournament could be worth up to $112 million by itself by 2025. What do you think, man? Is it time for the women to have their own contract?
Yes. I think it's time for the women to step out. This will allow them to create and market things maybe a little differently than what the men's do. Then they don't play second fiddle to the men. Naturally, there's going to be some situations, but if they can go out and find their own network, maybe, and something like that, that they can really count on and stop being under that umbrella, I think it's a good idea. Why not?
Yeah.
Don't we have a ESPNW?
Not as a separate network, just on the website. I'm just what I'm looking at is
ESPNW TV.
Where can they fit in if they had a separate deal? Because they should have a separate deal 100%. I'm looking at the men's tournament is on CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV. They got 4 networks trying to show all of these games, throughout. And you got ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and you're not going to put the game on ESPN3, are you? You're not going to do totally exclusive streaming. See how the Pac-12's doing it. You're going to call Amazon? And they put so many clock hours, and they show every game of the women's tournament. So you got to be mindful that ESPN might lowball them, but every game was shown. So we're going to call CBS Sports Network. So then Fox ain't going to do it.
The thing you mentioned, I would approach would be Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I would approach Amazon for the simple fact that right now, Amazon's the largest giant when it comes to merchandising and buying and purchasing and shopping. All right. Who is the majority of the people who are doing the shopping? Women.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So then you approach them with the women's basketball connection, trying to build viewership, and also, it couldn't hurt as far as Amazon is they're making what I would think would be an attempt for inclusion, especially after everything that's going on with Amazon right now and the strikes and all that. I think it's a fit for both. If I'm running the league, I reach out to Amazon for that. And if they do that, I want to cut because it came in first.
All right. So good luck with the negotiations. And we'll be right back because in segment 2, we're going to talk about should Congress be involved with NIL on the Eye Coaches podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA Save Project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email and CKA at ckasaveproject.org.
All right, welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast, segment 2. Do we need Congress to pass a national NIL standard? Representative Gus Bilirakis thinks so. And he did an article in January 2023 in Sportico. And Mike, I see where this is going, and I kind of want to see if we can get ahead of it. So in 2019, California enacted the first state law permitting student athletes to receive compensation for their name, image, and likeness. And we said, California, you might not want to be the first ones in line with this. In the wake of California law, dozens of other states responded and passed their own respective NIL laws to ensure their states and universities could remain competitive when recruiting student athletes. While states began ratifying NIL laws, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled in NCAA versus Alston that the NCAA rules limiting educational related compensation violated the Sherman Antitrust Act. Separately, in advance of state laws going into effect, the NCAA adopted an interim policy July 1st, 2021, giving college athletes around the country the opportunity to receive compensation for NIL. In Florida, the Gators' entire offensive line signed a deal with Sonny's Barbecue. Florida gymnast Leah Clapper created the first ever gymnastics board game. Miami guards Haley and Hannah Cavender rank among the most valuable NCAA players with endorsements. And to date, college athletes have earned an estimated $917 million in the first year of NIL per Yahoo Finance. And current projections show that it's going to be 1.1 billion over the second year. So this is real money. So there's no argument that all college athletes should capitalize off NIL, especially those who are not offered scholarships or do not participate in revenue generation activities. However, this is what he plans to do. He wants to introduce legislation that will establish a national preemptive standard under which all student athletes will have the same opportunity to enter into agreements with companies to receive compensation for their NIL. Why is this needed? Student athletes have raised concerns about navigating the confusing environment, especially athletes that live in one state and play in another state, and they're pathing with that. Educational institutions and athletic directors have shared fears about remaining competitive. The Patriot League is talking about not having a Patriot League in a few years because of all of this. So, the law itself will require every state to follow one law, which ensures student athletes understand their rights and will also establish protections under federal laws. Charlie Baker, NCAA president, wants this. Mike, what say you? Should there be a national standard for NIL?
No, I don't think so. I think we should just let it be where it is. Like, stop trying to control it. First you didn't, then we're going back to what it was before NIL started. Like, I don't, it's too many people get involved. I don't understand why they're so concerned in getting involved in it. Allow the kids to do what they do. If you want it, do your homework. Do your homework. Like, you don't understand, you confused. Man, I'm not trying to hear all that. So what? So what?
So what about creating some guardrails, some maybe dates in the calendar for contract windows, negotiations? I don't know. Would that appease Congress maybe, and not even Congress, the NCAA president, by having clear dates of negotiating windows or things like that? Maybe that could be a way to maybe control it a little more, maybe regulate it. I don't know. What do you think about that idea?
I don't know. I think
Or
you're at a,
maybe a reporting mechanism. Would you be okay
no,
with
I wouldn't.
reporting
No,
mechanism?
because then now you controlling. You got this next, then next is okay. We're gonna cap how much you can make. Like
No
that.
cap.
That's no, but
But
who's
shouldn't
to
you
say
know who you are working with? Like if I'm
who
working with,
should know?
shouldn't the NCAA and the school itself know who you're doing business with as you're using our name, image, and likeness? For example, again, going into the employee contract, there are certain things we can and cannot do as public school employees. Certain things that's in our contract, but since student athletes are not contracted employees, that's maybe your argument. And okay, I'm going to slide with you on that since they're not contracted employees, because now I'm talking about employee employer relationship, and I'm just Jenny from the swim team.
I don't even. I, as long as there ain't no weed company, no gun control, nothing like that, where it's illegal, where we run a bad
So then you
image.
do have parameters. Then if there's companies you cannot interact and deal with.
But they have that now. That's my point. They have that now on who they can and can't. So what would them coming in and setting stricter guidelines? Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Like it to me, it's just getting back to them trying to be in control, and they need to just back off, because
Yeah,
you
I
still
don't think we need Congress involved.
no, because you still
This is something you can handle yourself.
you still angry, you're still
Yeah.
upset, you're still
Yeah.
upset.
And you're trying to pawn it off to someone else to say, see, Congress did it instead of me. And that's not the proactive leadership I think they need now. I think they really should invest in the education piece, and I do think they need some outline of a standard agreement. I'd like to look at what they already have more. I think they can clean that up. I think they can clean the verbiage up, but we don't need representatives from Congress getting involved in the Instagram page of a gymnast or whatever. So with that, fans, when we get back in segment 3, we circle it back to the men's tournament, as well as some local love to some of the new coaches in the area. We'll be right back on the iCoaches podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@cksaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the iCoaches podcast. In segment 3, we'll talk a little bit about the men's games, just a little bit, but then we'll spend the end of the segment talking about some local hires to us in our area. Mike, UConn's been dominant, man, and they should win. So when this comes out on Thursday, I got to think UConn is hoisting up the championship trophy. What do you think about UConn's tournament run? Because, man, they've been quite dominant.
I think that they are, they're deep, they're talented, they're very aggressive. And it's hard to believe that somebody looked bigger than 6'9", but dude looked bigger than 6'9". And he got a couple guys could go get it. That's a team that could play at multiple. They can cause so many problems for you defensively. The way they head screens, switch screens, like the traps, their ball on the ball traps. Like when you try to set a screen, they're the best team defensively I've seen in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. And they have. Shout out to San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, and Miami. They gave their best efforts, and their team should be proud. As Robert likes to say on the show, San Diego State's some dudes, man. They old as hell. Florida Atlantic balled out. Shot just didn't go their way. So nothing but one note about the San Diego State FAU game, I got to tell you as a coach. After the game ended, I got a text from a former player, and the player said, "Coach, I love the San Diego State's coach let him play and didn't call timeout at the end."
Yeah, it was
Made
great.
me smile because I'm a big believer, and that's what practice is for. And you've done these scenarios so much, and I don't want to give a good coach a chance to counter or whatever. So I'm going to trust my players. I'm going to trust their decision making, and see how that handled. So, any thoughts about that, Mike?
Um, I like the idea that they did it. You know, sometimes you gotta let your players go, and you can't call it. I mean, I don't think coaches realize how good it can be. Like we lose more games than we win because we
Mm.
get in the way, and you let the kids. I recall a section final against Meade, and one of my players got the rebound, and we had no timeout, so he got the rebound, took off, went down, got fouled, hit 2 free throws. We go to overtime, then we pull away in overtime. Like
Yeah.
that's you gotta let them make the decision. You gotta let them make plays naturally as possible.
All right. Um, Local hires. So Mike and I are based out of the Washington metropolitan area, known affectionately as the DMV, and some schools got it right this time. And I do want to talk about that. So George Mason, where I've spent a lot of time at, um, they hired Tony Skinn to be their next head coach, and somebody had posted something about how they thought this was going to be another Georgetown situation with Patrick Ewing. I want to come out on the show and say, you guys have got to be kidding. This guy's coached at Maryland with Kevin Willard. He's coached at Ohio State. He's coached with Willard at Seton Hall. He has put his chops in. He coached at Louisiana Tech. He has put the time in. And this time, I think Mason got it right in terms of the younger alum, the 016 really backed them. And I think they're going to bring in a good staff, and he's going to get a lot of support. And that is not a slight on Kimmy English, who crushed me in high school when my team at Paint Branch played him in Randallstown. I think him taking the Providence job was excellent for him as well because he has put in the time and the effort, and he's going to have a greater opportunity to showcase the work that he's done. So any thoughts about the Mason hire of Tony Skinn as well as Kim English moving on to Providence?
Uh, I don't know if there's an issue. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say there wasn't. I, I think Kim moving on is good. I talked to him briefly. Just to, shit, how long ago? Like 3 days ago. I actually had dinner with his cousin, and I talked to him briefly, congratulating him. I think it's a good hire for him to go up. I'm not sure what was going on at the previous school. I'm not sure why like Mason was becoming a problem. I don't know. They didn't like him in that league. I just felt like it was an uh, overall. I'm not gonna say collusion, but for some reason, everybody was not on board with him being at George Mason. You know, but I'm
I
glad he
can't speak
landed.
to any of that. Maybe it wasn't a good fit. I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but I think all parties have made out pretty well in this.
I
I think
think they
he's going to
have.
do. I think Kim's going to do a great job at Providence, and I think the energy that Tony's going to bring, being a part of the greatest run in the history of the school with the chops of learning how to do the job, I think that's going to be really good for them.
But don't count out don't count out Dwayne Simpkins now.
Now, remember, that's the next thing that's on.
Come on now.
So, American University, one of the best schools in the country, by the way, academically,
Mhm.
um, hired George Mason assistant Dwayne Simpkins as the new head coach. He replaced Mike Brennan, who went 125 and 166 over 10 seasons and was let go. Dwayne brings deep ties to the area. He went to DeMatha. He went to Maryland. He's put his time in as well. at multiple locations. He gets the academic piece, and I think he's going to bring in some talent that maybe Mike Brennan couldn't bring in. So I am excited about Dwayne Simpkins having this opportunity.
They beat Georgetown.
So did everybody else last year, it seems like.
My bad.
So, any thoughts about Dwayne getting the American job? I think that's, I think he's going to do a nice job there.
I think he's going to do a great job. Shot a message to him yesterday, which like I know he's busy. So I shot a message to him yesterday. He hit me back at 3 a.m., which I was asleep. So I didn't see it again. I didn't see it till 7:30 this morning, but I'm sure he was busy and flooded with calls. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He's done well everywhere he's been. Yeah, and he's a great guy. Like when it comes to doing the right things for the kids. So
yes. I'm very excited that he has this chance. And finally, fans, very, very personal to me, and Mike knows this. Syracuse has hired Brendan Strawn to be their assistant coach. And Brendan, not only did I recruit him, but he played for me at Hood. Brendan allowed me to tell our story together in the Find a Balance book. And again, he's put in the time. Did high school coaching, was at Loyola, was at St. Joe's, was at GW, and now gets a chance to go to the ACC. And this is great. We got Tony, we got Dwayne, we got Brendan. This is an unforgiving business. It's an unforgiving business to coach a business. We got 3 guys, and I also want to mention Jamal Wise, who's the head coach at Montgomery College in our area, and they're doing really good things. They're putting in the work. I'm happy that they have the opportunity, and I'm really rooting for them. And I wanted to give this public forum to just say, guys, keep your head down, keep grinding. We're really proud of you, and keep doing your thing. Mike, anything you want to add before we close?
No, I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see everybody getting their chance and getting the opportunity to go up that they earned. Like none of these positions have been given. Like we're not going there. None of them have been given. So let's just say yes and be glad. And be glad for them guys. Congratulate them. I need tickets now.
We need some gear and some tickets.
I need tickets. That's all I need. Need tickets.
All right. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and/or watching the iCoaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at iCoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the iCoaches podcast.